Hey everybody! Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 worst movies of 2016. Since I did a top 10 best, I've got to do a top 10 worst. And man, there were some stinkers this year. Stinkers! Number 10. My number 10 choice is going to be Batman v Superman. I mean, come on. A lot of stuff about this movie is bad. The story's bad. They ruined Doomsday. They shoehorned in Wonder Woman. Even though I liked seeing her, she had no purpose in the movie, really. And then they just introduced the Justice League with a little email attachment. Superman's motivations and Batman's motivation. Batman had better motivations. But all in all, it was just a really bad movie. But I didn't put it higher on my list because Ben Affleck did a good Batman. And I'm actually hoping to see him in future movies, in good movies. I would love to see him in a good movie. And I do know that he's working on his own solo Batman movie right now. And knowing him as a director, he's going to make sure the script is decent, is good. So I have high hopes for the Batman movie, the Batflick movie. Number 9. My number 9 choice is going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows. Now, this movie, I understand it's a kid's movie. And when I watch the old Turtle movies, I'm looking at it through nostalgia glasses. But there's a lot of kids' movies that are still really good. I didn't like the Turtles as much as I did in the first movie. It was Michael Bay'd, so it's like a Michael Bay movie. Bebop and Rocksteady were more annoying than anything. Krang kind of came out of nowhere, which I guess is okay. But Shredder's motivations for helping him were really thin. Casey Jones was barely in it and not Casey Jones. And April O'Neil wasn't really April O'Neil. She wasn't in the first one either. So just not a good movie. Number 8. My number 8 choice is going to be Independence Day, Resurgence. I don't know. It's not like we were asking for it, but I did want to see it. I love Independence Day. But this one just could not grab the beauty of the first movie. And yeah, I was kind of bored. Some of the characters that popped in there really didn't make sense. For the most part, it needed Will Smith. It needed Will Smith and it needed a better script. Number 7. So for number 7, I chose Hail Caesar. I thought this movie was pretty boring, actually. Not really that funny, which is unusual. You know, a Coen Brothers movie. I love Coen Brothers. I like the cast. But the story fell flat. The ending was very blunt and kind of anticlimactic. I left the theater really disappointed. I didn't like this movie at all. Number 6. For number 6, I chose Dirty Grandpa. Not really that funny. It's supposed to be a comedy. I laughed maybe 2 times, and not that much. I got more uncomfortable than anything, and I don't know, I didn't like the movie. I left it like, I'm never gonna see it again. Number 5. My number 5 choice is going to be Ghostbusters. Now, I didn't like the fact that it was a remake. It should have been a sequel. It should have been the third movie. Takes place in the same universe. The Ghostbusters from the first 2 movies existed, and they're passing the torch to this crew. I think the 4 actresses that played in this movie were good, but the script sucked, and the humor fell flat, or it was too silly. So I didn't like the movie. It would have been better as a sequel with a better script, And you didn't have to redo the first movie. The first movie was good. So when you do a sequel and you do a third movie, you have the ability to make a whole new story. So it would have been a lot better.
Number 4.
My number 4 choice is Huntsman, Winter's War. It was poorly acted. It was boring. The action scenes were not good. They were not filmed good. It's just, I don't know. Now, it was pretty. I liked some of the costumes, even though they were way over the top, and some of the sets looked neat. But that was it. And I don't even know why they made this movie. It's not like people were clamoring for a sequel or prequel sequel. Like, it was kind of a confusing storyline. Some of it happened before, some of it happened after. Just, nah.
Number 3.
My number 3 choice is going to be the Divergent series, Allegiant. I don't know why they made this movie, really. If they did, I think it should have been like a science sci-fi channel movie or direct-to-DVD maybe. But they spent way too much money on a script that wasn't that great. It wasn't acted very well. They were recapping the first movie pretty poorly. And you didn't need to do that. I mean, the whole idea of the Divergent series, it's kind of like Hunger Games, is you've seen the previous movies. So why are you recapping the last movie? I don't get it. But it was boring. It wasn't fun. I didn't like it at all.
Number 2.
My number 2 choice, if you've seen my review for it, I hated this movie. Assassin's Creed. I was hoping it would be good. The third trailer looked decent. You know, I didn't like the Kanye West song in the first trailer, and the second trailer still had a pop song, but it was pretty. It's just in the movie, it was so bad. The action scenes were horrible. The SCQ that I talk about, shaky cam, quick cuts, and close-ups, when you do those, you kill an action scene, and they added a fourth one that made it even worse by jumping between the past and the present. It was so confusing, and what was frustrating was you could see that there was a good action scene there, but the only people that saw it were the crew that was filming it. We didn't get to see a cool action sequence. It was just all over the place. Horrible. The story was bad. They had a lot of things that they just popped in there near the end and didn't explain. And then they were trying to pump it up for a sequel, and I don't think we'll get one. And if we do, I'm not going to watch it. So, yeah, it's just bad.
Number 1.
And my number 1 worst movie of 2016. Gods of Egypt. Holy crap, was this movie bad. The CG was bad. The blue screen was horrible. The acting was bad. You had a bunch of Egyptian gods, but no Egyptians. The main characters couldn't act. The story fell flat. Like, I couldn't find one redeeming factor of this movie. It should have been like a, Scorpion King 4 that goes direct to DVD, and that would be fine. You watch it, you know it's a B movie. But they spent so much money on this movie for a B movie. I don't get it. I don't know why they didn't. There's so many times making this movie that you could say, this isn't a good idea. When you're in the script, you would know it's not a good idea. Why did you cast it that way? That's not a good idea. The acting while shooting, that's not a good idea. In the editing and the CG and the blue screen, all of that wasn't a good idea. Like, how did they think this movie was decent or good in any way? And the director was on Twitter saying, "Oh, people don't know what they're talking about." What do you mean? What about this movie is good? Nothing! So those are my top 10 worst movies of 2016. My God, what a pile these were. It was not a good year for these movies, but there were some good ones if you look at my top 10 best movies of 2016. I also am going to have some videos coming out of the most anticipated movies of 2017, and also movies that I think are not going to be good in 2017. I'm going to try and make some predictions of bad movies. We'll see how that turns out. But tell me, what were the top 10 worst movies for your opinion that you saw this year? Comment below and let me know your thoughts. You can also hit the notifications bell so that you can get updated on new videos when they come out. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you in the next video.